All right, today we're diving into Shelly Meyer's Avalon Lost. And let me tell you, this book takes the idea of a dream honeymoon and just absolutely shreds it, turning it into this terrifying supernatural thriller. We're going to break down how a perfect getaway becomes a prison, what happens when you can't even trust your own mind, and how a truly ancient evil can hide behind a very charming smile. And this quote from the synopsis, that says it all, right? It's the whole promise of the book in just 4 words. You're starting in paradise, but you're heading straight into a nightmare that you might not wake up from. And you can see that drop right here. You start with the dream. Newlyweds Arya and Jared on a luxury yacht, Caribbean sun, the whole 9 yards. And then bam, the nightmare. A mysterious explosion, and suddenly they're just adrift, fighting for their lives in the middle of the ocean. So let's start at the beginning. Section 1, a perfect honeymoon. This is where we see exactly how that beautiful dream just completely sours into a desperate struggle to survive. So after the explosion, 4 people actually managed to make it to land. You've got our newlyweds, Arya and Jared, and another couple they were with, Kevin and Marlene. They survived the blast, they survived the ocean, only to find themselves stranded on some island that literally isn't on any map. And just when they think they might be safe, well, that's when the real story begins. This brings us to Section 2, the Paradise Prison. It's that awful feeling when you realize that being rescued might actually be worse than being lost. And this is where we meet him, Jerome Khalid. He's the owner of the island, and he shows up looking like a total savior. He's charming, he's welcoming, he offers them shelter. But right from the jump, something feels off. Arya gets this deep sense of unease, like his kindness is just a mask. At first, though, it feels like an absolute miracle. Khalid takes them into this incredible, lavish villa. It's civilization in the middle of nowhere, they're safe, they have food, a place to rest. It really seems like they've been saved. But that feeling, it just evaporates. Pretty soon, all of them start feeling weak, getting sick for no reason. And they realize the food and drink they've been given, it's not saving them. It's poisoning them. And then the most horrifying, simple truth just locks into place. This place isn't a sanctuary, it's a cage. They are prisoners, and their so-called host is actually their warden. So this is the question that just hangs over everything, right? Every nice thing Khalid does feels like a manipulation. Every moment of quiet feels like it's about to explode. It's pure psychological warfare. How do you fight an enemy who keeps insisting he's your best friend? What does this guy actually want? Arya knows she has to figure it out. She has to find out what's really going on. And her search for answers leads us right into Section 3, the island's dark truth. This is where we leave psychological suspense behind and dive headfirst into straight-up supernatural horror. As Arya starts exploring the villa, her worst fears are confirmed. She finds these strange, occult symbols carved right into the walls of the building. And even worse, the island itself seems to be talking to her, whispering her name, really pushing her to the edge of her sanity. And here it is, the big, horrifying reveal. The reason for Khalid's impossible youth, his wealth, his control, it's all because he's in a pact. He performs human sacrifices to some ancient, dark entity that lives in the very soil of the island. So here's the whole twisted plan, which Arya pieces together with some help from Khalid's servant, Aldine. Khalid's rituals keep him young and rich. Aldine is the one who's been poisoning them, but not to kill them, just to make them weaker for the next sacrifice. And the most disturbing part? For some reason, this dark power on the island has taken a special interest in Arya. Okay, so the truth is out. Escape is off the table. Now, there's only one thing left to do: fight. And that brings us to Section 4, Ritual and Rebellion. This is the big showdown, the final battle against an evil that's as old as the island itself. And the end, man, it happens fast. Khalid's cult followers arrive for the big ritual, but Aldane, he just can't go through with it. He tries to help Arya. Khalid catches him and murders him with this cursed ritual blade. And in that split second, Arya grabs that same cursed weapon and turns it on Khalid. The magic just backfires, and he and all his followers just turn to ash. With Khalid gone, the pact is broken, and the island just loses it. The dark power is completely unleashed, and the whole place starts to self-destruct.
Arya and the other survivors have to make a frantic escape as Avalon literally collapses into the sea and fire and lava behind them.
And you'd think that's it, right? They won, they escaped. But it's never that clean. And that brings us to our final section, the lingering shadow, which shows us that just because you leave the island, it doesn't mean the island has left you. So we jump forward 6 months. The survivors are in Los Angeles. They're trying to have a normal lunch, trying to put their lives back together after this unbelievable trauma. And for just a second, it feels like maybe, just maybe, they're going to be okay.
And then the book delivers its final soul-crushing punch. Arya looks across the street and she sees him, Khalid. He's not a memory. He's right there, in pale linen, smiling at her, completely alive. She blinks and he's gone. But was he really there?
And that's the question the book leaves you with, just hanging in the air. Is this evil something external, an immortal monster that can't be killed? Or has the evil become internal, a scar so deep on Arya's mind that she'll never truly be free from him? The story's over, but the horror, that sticks with you, making you wonder if some darkness, once you've seen it, can ever really be left behind.